Welcome to 5 Benefits of Learning and Training webinars. This is Dr. Victoria Boyd, the author of Webinar Secrets. Before we get into this, many of you know that webinars are valuable tools, but many don't know the actual meaning of webinars. Webinars is a combination of two words, web and seminars. Web-based meaning online, the internet, digital access. Seminars mean a learning experience. It comes out of the educational platform, higher ed, also in the college level and high school format. So when you combine webinars, it's web-based learning. And that is the key and the core of why webinars are so valuable. As we're looking at it, we want to understand the educational value versus service or products. You probably have some great services or products, training, other things that you want to present via webinars, but you have to be careful that you're not presenting all services and products versus some educational content. You want to make sure that your audience walks away with takeaways, that is, things that they have actually learned that they could implement right then without getting your services or products. Your services or products would be the cherry on top of that proverbial cake. But first, before we get into what makes a great webinar, we're now in the cusp of what I call a Zoom effect. As we had to hunker down in our homes because of the pandemic, because of what happened in 2020, the Zoom effect became much more predominant. That is, so many people were forced to use virtual conferencing that it became very comfortable and people were very forgiving in how people showed up. They were just happy to have them show up no matter what their background looked like, how their camera was focused, their sound. They became forgiving. But now, when we're getting ready to jump into doing professional webinars and training, we must get back into that professional mindset. How it looks, how you present yourself, and the technology that you use and ease of use is now key. You don't want to let the Zoom effect and become relaxed on what that first impression might be. You don't want to lose credibility because your webinars were poorly either developed or produced. So first, one of the main benefits of webinars is its convenience. It is accessible to almost everyone. Anyone can access, if they have internet access, whether it's on their phone, a tablet, their computer, laptops, any access to the internet, you can provide a webinar vision or how they could see it. So the convenience of it has really exponentially grown because we were forced into using the format. Before, people sometimes resisted. They could, oh, I just don't like using that platform. When you have to use it, then you learn how to use it, and it becomes much more easier, and the convenience starts to come through. Number two, affordability, especially in the training arena. You can visualize or remember when you went and traveled to big conferences. You paid for the registration. You paid for travel. You paid for room and board or housing or hotels. And so those fees start to stack up just to go to a 1, 2, or 3 day training platform. With webinars, you can present that same educational value and cut out all the travel. The registration fees can still be there, but housing, all of those can be reduced. But looking from the other side to produce it, the platforms and the ease of using all of these are almost down to zero. It's only the time you invest to develop a great webinar and then to produce it are the real hard costs. Because there are so many video platforms out there that are free, if you stay within a certain parameter of time and how many attendees, you can do all of your presentations almost for nothing. Number 3, effective and efficient. They're effective because you can ensure that the right things are put into the webinar. That's where you should spend a lot of time researching and doing the homework to make sure that your content is effective. And then it's efficient because the people receiving that will see the right things when they need to see it. It's efficient because if they need to watch your webinar in the middle of the night when it's quiet and they can focus, they can do that. And so you need to be effective, and it's efficient for how they receive it. Number 4, the long-term value. The long-term value is almost immeasurable. You can record and do a webinar today. It can be valuable tomorrow and totally on into the future. If you're careful not to make it time sensitive, where you're running and you're giving dates and things, and your information is valid in terms of its longevity and shelf life, the long-term value of a webinar increases the longer it's out there and people continue to use it. That's why this chart right here shows you today, tomorrow, and in the future, that arrow of value is constantly going up. Number 5, and this should be number 5, see, even I make mistakes, is ease of use. Ease of use has even exponentially grown. Initially, many people had to learn how to get used to using the video platforms. It goes back to some of those Zoom effects where we had to forgive people for not knowing how to mute themselves, or your camera angle, or stop, get the light from behind you. But the more they use it, the easier it gets to use. Also, it's so easy to create webinars via a webinar or a virtual platform. Your webinar could be audio, which is called a podcast, or video and sound, which is video conferencing. Or you could do both. Now, let's talk about some resources. I am the author of Webinar Secrets: How to Create Webinars and Training That Educate, Engage, and Energize. But there's more than that than just the book, and they're very easy to access. Webinar Secrets is on my website, drvictoriaboyd.com. The book is a step-by-step guide, or you can receive full service consulting from myself and my team to develop content and deliver it. And that's key. Within our training center, we have created a wonderful recording, or I should say development studio, where there's lighting, green screens, and everything you need. But your ultimate guide is the Webinar Secrets book, How to Create Webinars and Training to Educate, Engage, and Energize. And it is available on Amazon, or it is available at drvictoriaboyd.com. So if you have burning questions about this presentation today, please schedule a chat. It's real easy to find me at https://drvictoriaboyd.com/schedule. That's real easy to remember, drvictoriaboyd.com/schedule. Please reach out and schedule your chat with me. It was so fun having you here at the July version of Zoomathon. See you next time.